Good morning, Mr. CEO and members of the committee of Scandinavian Airlines. I am the head engineer and I'm here this morning to present to you the report on Flight 751. As you all may know, Flight 751 crashed shortly after takeoff in freezing temperatures. Captain Stefan Rasmussen was the pilot at the time and he brought the plane down in a clearing about 15 kilometers from the airport. Luckily, there were no fatalities, but this was miraculous. Now, an investigation was launched and to find out why. So they took apart the plane and they took the engines to a workshop and took them apart. Now, after taking them apart, they realized that several parts were missing. So they retraced the plane's flight path and found some of the missing parts. Now, 500 parts may seem like much, but in this case, it's in the minority. So, here are some possible causes as to why this incident occurred. Now, first of all, they assume that the captain did not follow proper protocol. Now, after retrieving the black boxes from the cockpits after the plane crash, they cleared the pilot of this accusation. Secondly, when they examined the plane blades, they noticed that some dents were present, right? Now, this was due to ice, because ice has a certain pattern of damaging blades. Now, whose fault would this be for the ice buildup? The fault would lie on the maintenance crew. They did not do a complete search and clearing of the ice so that they would be able to have a safe flight. Now, thirdly, they assumed that faulty fluids were used. However, tests proved this otherwise. And lastly, the manufacturers installed an automatic thrust restoration device in the plane's control system, so that if pilots decrease power, it would automatically increase the power during the flight. Now, here is a little video showing that the ice being sucked into the plane engines and the explosions occurring thus, which is called surging. Now, with these causes, they come with some ethical and professional issues. Now, first of all, equipment was lacking. Now, who would be to blame for this? It would be you all, the committee and the CEO, because you all did not provide proper equipment for the maintenance crew to do their work properly. Now, this shows lack of professionalism on your part, because you are supposed to have everything in place so that every flight would be a safe and secure one. Now, this lack of equipment will lead to the next point, which is incomplete maintenance checks. Now, these incomplete maintenance checks were caused because of the lack of equipment. However, the maintenance crew were to blame as well, because they did not come to you all, the CEO and the committee, and said, hey, we need these parts, we need this piece of equipment so that we'll be able to carry out safe flights and safe checks. And thirdly, the third and fourth points will be linked together, as you can see. Now, there are some barriers to communication. Right now, these barriers of communication arose because of the manufacturers when they installed this ATR. When they installed this, they did not send a copy of this information to you all, so that you will be able to train your pilots so that they'll know how to use this properly and what would be the severity if anything occurred. Now, this shows a blatant lack of professionalism, as you as a professional are supposed to have certain standards in place. However, they did not use that. So let's move on to some prevention methods. Possible prevention methods. If these were in place, the flight would have been a safe and secure one and no one would have been injured. Now, if you all had provided proper equipment for the workers, they would have been able to reach on top of the plane wings and find any errors, any ice buildup, and say that if they needed a third de-icing to be done. Now, for the second thing was that for the manufacturer to provide the pilots with the necessary information of the plane, and thirdly, ensure that the maintenance crew complete the checks. To conclude, the causes of this was on your part, the members of the Scandinavian Airline Board. You were to blame, and the ATF was to blame as well. Now, if the above prevention methods had been put in place and the professional and ethics had been put in place, this could have been prevented. Now, even though Captain Rasmussen brought this plane down safely, he was not able to re-enter a plane cockpit to fly another plane because of this accident. He was very terrified. I hope that this report to you was good and very enlightening. Thank you.